more concerned was the local kind of flavor that was available, the local kind of life. The English life is what interested her. So her concern with the English provincial life and the gentry is something which she focused on. Now the gentry sought to hold on to former glory, so it was very difficult for her to forget the past. So the former glory, to hold on to the former glory, is something which you will find in most of her fiction. Castle Rackrent, which was published in 1800, is a well-known novel by Maria Hedgeworth. Most of her later tales were set in Ireland. Since she belonged to that area, she was more familiar with that area. She focused on primarily talking about Irish culture, Irish people, Irish society. You can find a good index of social criticism in her work. So her main focus, which was very different from the male writers, because male writers were more inclined to talk about the monarchy, the politics, and other things. But you will find that society is very, very important to these women writers. They rather try to explore the problems that were existing in the society, and they try to bring about change through their writings. A sense of nostalgia, as I said, that provincial life and gentry, that is the main concern of this writer, Maria Hedgeworth, and therefore the sense of nostalgia is very, very obvious in her writings. Industrialized urbanization, because it was the age of industrialization, and due to industrialization, that the urbanization which took place and the impact on the people, the lives of the people, everything became a subject or became a theme of her fiction. Moreover, this writer also spoke about the incompetence of the squires. Her later novels were Belinda, which was published in 1801, Patronage, which was published in 1814, and Helen, which was published in 1834. Now, her focus was primarily reforming the society, so a lot of moral tales. These were all moral tales which kind of sent some strong message talking about bringing about change, the importance of the moral values, the ethics. These were very, very close to this writer, Maria Hedgeworth. The local novel. Why is it known as a local novel? The novel is written by Maria Hedgeworth. It reflected the society. It was a reflection of the society of her times. And therefore, it clearly talks about the Irish people, the Irish culture. The third major writer is Mary Shelley, sister of P.B. Shelley, the famous romantic poet. She was born in 1797 and she died in 1851. Her kind of fiction was different from Mrs. Anne Radcliffe and Maria Hedgeworth. You'll find that her writings included science, fiction, and fantasy. And even today, the first novel written by her, Frankenstein, which was published in 1818, it was filmed and adapted several times. The popularity of that film or of that particular literary work is so evident that a lot of adaptations of this particular novel took place several times. Her other focus, as I said, she is interested in science, and her fiction talked about science and his quest for the secret of life. There were a lot of other themes which Mary Shelley tried to talk about. The theology of the Genesis and the role of the Creator. She also talks about use and abuse of science, education and morality, the importance of education and morality, romance of discovery, role of community. These were some of the major important themes of Mary Shelley's fiction. She is one writer who also tried to talk about the problematic theme of motherhood, because that is something which was never written, at least not even by, it could not have been written by the male writers. So with the onset of these female or the women writers, the women fiction writers, Mary Shelley took initiative and found it necessary to talk about this particular theme, the theme of motherhood, which found a very, very important place in her fiction. There were also voices of anxieties about science, because science is a necessity, but at the same time, the effects of the science, the impact of science on human, which was, you can find that it was extended to Atwood's 2002 novel Oryx and Crake, where they talk about cloning and the dangers of science. This one writer, Lady Morgan, the date of her birth is a little doubtful, so therefore there's a question mark put on the monitor that you can find. It's born supposed to be born in 1776 and she died in 1859. Now, Lady Morgan's name doesn't figure much in many of the history books of English literature, but as we all know that it was very difficult for women writers to get their works published, and it was Lady Morgan who, in the name of Sydney Ovenson, wrote, and that's how her work started getting. The Wild Irish Girl, which was published in 1806, it talks about the Irish history and the culture, the Irish culture. Her kind of novels were considered to be nationalistic fiction because she talks about Ireland. She talks about the issues that are very close to Ireland, the people of Ireland. The most unique thing about Lady Morgan, why it is important to talk about Lady Morgan, is because her kind of work received government recognition in the name of, she started receiving government pension. She was the first woman to receive government pension ever in the history of, England at least. Indian Tale is something which you will find in her novel, The Missionary, which was published in 1811, where she talks about various themes of social reforms. She talks about Irish independence. She talks about the independence that was leading to police surveillance, the kind of intervention of police at every, every stage in one's life. So she was very concerned about the Irish independence. There were a lot of other minor writers. After we discussed three of them, who were they? We discussed Mary Shelley. We discussed Mary's Wollstonecraft. We also talked about Mrs. Anne Radcliffe and Maria Hedgeworth. Now, these were the prominent writers. Apart from them, you will find that the minor writers who came into the foray into fiction writing, they include Hannah and Sarah Moore. They rather wrote tales for children. Now, again, nobody ever thought of writing stories, fiction for children. So this was a very, very noteworthy contribution by Anna and Sarah Moore. So therefore, the names need to be mentioned here though they are considered to be minor writers. You will find that Mary Sherwood, who was born in 1775 and who died in 1851. Mary Sherwood, over 300 works she has contributed, and all her works are more of the, can be called as evangelical tales, where she lays more focus or stress or emphasis on the moral values. Then you find Barbara Hofland's didactic fiction, where you find the glorified virtues. What kind of glorified virtues were discussed in her didactic fiction? The importance of being thrifty, stoicism, Christian faith, and self-discipline. Now, it's known as didactic fiction because it was trying to instill certain virtues, certain values in people through the writing. So Barbara Hofland's writing fiction were more of didactic nature. She rejected ambition, fashion, and greed through her writings. And also she talked about destiny, providence, and social injustice. These are all very, very close to her heart. Barbara Hofland, a very, very important women fiction writer. Most of her stories were feel-good tales, which rather to provide moral instruction to oral children. How do you train children through, encouraging them to read and read good books? So these kind of good tales were morally, it was a moral instruction to these older children who read these books. Her kind of novels can be categorized as evangelical novels or moral tales, because that was the main focus of her writing. Another prominent name after Mrs. Anne Radcliffe, the most prominent name of this romantic period is Fanny Burney. She was born in 1752 and she died in 1840. She replaces the picaresque adventures by the comedy of manners. The kind of, picaresque novels had taken a long way. It had come a long way right from the novels which were written initially. But later on, the first person to bring about a certain change in this kind of a form was Fanny Burney with her comedy of manners. She tried to what she tried to do was what Richardson and Henry Fielding did together. She tried to fuse a part of Richardson's kind of style of writing and Henry Fielding's kind of writing, and together she tried to pick, the best elements from both these writers. So these two writers were a kind of inspiration to her. They inspired her. They guided her. Social comedy, the feminization of, you will find that, Fielding's art, that's what her writings focused on. So her themes included, young girl's impression, like Henry Fielding when he talks about his Tom Jones, he's talking about a male perspective, and here you'll find a feminine perspective in this writing. This is in a letter form, as we know, epistolary. That's why I used the word initially. One of the features of novel writing is one of the kind of novel writing is epistolary novels, which is in a letter form, and Evelina is a very good example, which was the first work by this writer, Fanny Burney, and it's the most famous work of Fanny Burney. So you'll find that Fanny Burney wrote epistolary novels because her novel was in a letter form. She tries to delve into the woman's psyche. So women's psychological states are being explored from various angles. She paves way for domestic novel of the Victorian period. That's how she is an inspiration to the writers of the Victorian period, because she's the one who showed way for the domestic novels, the kind of novels. Some of the other works of Fanny Burney include Cecilia, which was first published in 1782, and then Camilla, which was published in 1796, and The Wanderer, which was published in 1814. One more minor woman writer, as you can know, Susan Ferrier, who was born in 1782, who died in 1854. Her novels are more of, the kind of manners, novels of manner, novelist of manners. That's how her kind of works are called. There are three famous novels which she has written. Marriage, which was published in 1818, The Inheritance, which was published in 1824, and Destiny, which was published in 1831. As I said, some of the writers tried to bring about the culture of Ireland and Scotland, the kind of a local flavor which was not known to the rest of the world. So Susan Ferrier represented the Scottish life. She belonged to Scotland, so she tried to talk about the Scottish life. One more writer, Mary Russell Mitford. The best work of Mary Russell Mitford is Our Village. In her works, you will find the sketches of rural life. You know what a village is, and how a village looks, and how the people of the village lead their lives. But the most important aspect of her writing is that her kind of writing is flavored with delicate humor and feminine touch. Clara Reeve, a very prolific writer of romances. She wrote many romances. The Old English Baron is one of her chief work. She sort of tries to blend ancient romance and a modern novel through her writing. So there is a kind of modernity, and there is something that is very, very ancient